I don't know where we think we're doing these young men a favor, and so many of these young men, and I use that term loosely, boys trying to figure out how to be men, when they take this next step, so many of them are looking for the first time in their life in these coaches. It's probably the first real male role model they've had. I know that we were talking. I was talking to a guy involved with a program that will remain unnamed, and he said, it's getting to the point that it's about 70 to 75% of the players on teams have no dad. And what's happened is, instead of saying I'm going to be the person, the man in this boy trying to step into manhood's life that's going to tell him no, or I'm going to say, no, you're going to do what we say. You're going to respect authority. You're going to follow the rules. We're going to give you the number that we think best serves the team. And sometimes your number might be available, but sometimes it's not. We're not going to have duplicate numbers. We're not going to do those things. And you're going to wear your hair a certain way, and you're going to act a certain way. And, I remember it wasn't tattoos yet, and there's not much you can do about that if a kid got a tattoo in high school. But I remember when my dad was still coaching, it became the guys with earrings era. Well, he didn't want people wearing earrings on his team. So if you wanted to wear an earring, you had to wear it when you weren't there. But when you came onto the campus or you came to his practice or came into his office, you never did it wearing earrings. He wouldn't allow it. And I understand Bobby Bowden's line, which I don't necessarily agree with, that if it was all about that stuff, Army and Navy would play for the national championship every year. That's a funny line, and he's right about that. But you're not doing these players any service in life when you let them run roughshod over the coaches, the university. There has to be somebody in their life that is the first man that says, you're going to do it my way, or unfortunately they're not in business anymore, or it's Trailways.
Right.
Okay? And Greyhound doesn't sound as good because it didn't go.
Or Highway.
Yeah, I guess you could go Highway.
Yeah.
But I just remember this one guy I played for used to use Trailways because it was still in business.
Right.
Yeah, basically you go get on the bus.
And he probably had to call him a few times. So.
But it will help them in life. It will help them so much in life. It'll help them be a better daddy, a better husband.
Well, you see
a
this.
better employee.
And it's a theme today with Greg McElroy's comments, too, about being a team player. You got to be a team player when it comes to family, when it comes to work, when it comes to everything you do, football, on the field. I think there's a lot of things you can, that you learn from sports in general, competing, that are very good things. But you also see some character issues get magnified that are negative.
Yeah. Oh, and just in family, like you mentioned, I've known people who the children and the wife married one of these self-centered, it's all about me men. And they just carry it right into the family, and everybody's miserable. Everybody's miserable because it's all we do. Whatever, it's all about me. We're gonna do everything my way. It's got to be this. Has got to be me. This has got to be it. We're gonna do this. And I'm not talking about a man leading. I'm talking about a man acting like
it's a fine line.
I'm talking about a man acting like a selfish child.
Right.
That his needs come before everybody else in the house, and he'll pout if he doesn't get his way, and all that kind of stuff. And can you imagine that being your daddy?
Well, and the flip side of that is you have people that don't step up and take their position and lead and fulfill the authority that they have been given and do it in the right way. So, and that gets magnified in sports, and it's unfortunately some of it is it's getting worse instead of better.
To Max in Leeds. Max, go ahead.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey Max, what's up?
Hey, I got a question. Rick was talking about the BCS championship game. Let's say Alabama wins. They win kind of the same situation it was in the first game of the year they played.
Which is likely, by the way. Right. I think it's going to be close.
Oh, yeah. Do you think, even if Alabama were to pull it out in a squeaker, that the powers that be could allow them to be co-champions, both of them? And
you talking about the BCS co-champions?
Yeah.
No. The BCS system is very clear. The winner of this game wins it all. And look, I understand this argument of saying, well, LSU won the first time, Alabama won this one, we're tied. But that's not how this is played.
That's not how a championship game works.
At this point, the season does not matter. We have chosen the two best teams based on the season. They're going to play for the championship. We have this in the NFL a lot of times. We've had teams that played earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And the team that won the Super Bowl didn't necessarily win during the season.
Absolutely.
Look, we've had as close as we can get to a playoff picking system combined monster that we've got. and we have chosen these are the best two teams. They're going to play for the championship. That's all it is. That's just the way it is.
And by the way, from top to bottom,
basketball it happens, in baseball it happens.
I'm a playoff proponent 100%. But let me be clear. From top to bottom, now that I've watched all these other bowl games and I saw some of you make the same comments, these are the two best football teams in the nation.
Absolutely.
From top to bottom.
And, Rick, I will say this. I think these two teams may be the best two teams in college football we've had in 5 or 6 years. Overall, top to bottom.
Top to